Hi, I'm in Stratford today to talk to you about something that's coming up tomorrow. So the 29th of June, which is tomorrow, is Scoliosis Awareness Month. Awareness Day, to coincide with the whole of the month of June being Scoliosis Awareness Month. You may or may not have heard of this condition. It's something that I was diagnosed with when I was 11. The condition is basically, it basically means a curvature of the spine. So sufferers can either have what's called a C-shaped curve or an S-shaped curve. So as you can imagine, a C shape is literally like where it goes like that. So the person ends up kind of walking a bit lopsided because of the curve. Mine was actually an S shape, which as you can imagine as well kind of goes that way. So I had two curvatures, and because of the double curve, it meant that it wasn't picked up on, because basically I wasn't walking lopsided because it balanced, the one curve balanced the other one out. So it was actually picked up when I went for an x-ray when I was having a checkup about my asthma, and the consultant said to my mum, did you know about this? Which she obviously didn't. And they said that they would keep an eye on it for a few months and see if it progressed or if it got any better, or if it just kind of stopped getting worse. And basically it didn't. So when I went back a couple of months later, it had progressed quite a bit. So they said, we need to operate straight away, or it's just going to be too bad to do anything about it. So just after I started secondary school in year 7, about a couple of months after I'd started school, I went in and had a spinal fusion operation, which basically means that the surgeons fused my spine together with a metal rod and pins. So basically my back doesn't bend. So I was flat on my back in hospital for 2 weeks. It was quite a major surgery. It was an 8-hour operation, quite risky, risks of sort of like paralysis and stuff. So it was pretty major really. Obviously not the first, it wasn't the first major surgery I'd had, because my first one was when I was 3, because I was born with a hole in my heart. So I had open heart surgery anyway when I was 3. But yeah, so the back surgery at 11 was my second major surgery. So I was in the Royal Orthopaedic Hospital in Birmingham for 2 weeks after the surgery, and I had to stay flat on my back. I wasn't allowed to walk or get up or anything. Just going to stop a minute, got some people walking by. I was quite determined, some might say stubborn, but I was determined after 2 weeks I was going to go to my party at youth group, against the better judgment of the doctors and my parents and things. I made sure I could get myself up and out, and I did manage a little bit of time at my party. I think that was just to prove that I could do it, I didn't want to be defeated. Nothing's changed there. So after the surgery for 6 months, I had to wear a full body plaster cast, actually made of fiberglass, but it was basically like a vest that came up over my shoulders, all round my body, right down to my waist, and it had zips both sides, and it was basically filled with fiberglass. So it was solid, like a plaster cast that you get on an arm or a leg or something, but it was like all over. And I basically, for 6 months, I wasn't allowed to stand up without that on. So that made for quite an interesting first year of secondary school. But fortunately people were nice to me, and my school was really good to me in adapting stuff, and yeah, it was good. So so scoliosis has had quite a high profile, I guess, in the last year, with Princess Beatrice speaking out about it when she got married. And also a couple of years ago there was a little girl in Britain's Got Talent who had it, and quite famously Simon Cowell paid for her surgery in America. The reason they did that was because she was a dancer, and on the NHS in England you can only get the spinal fusion surgery, which basically makes your spine solid, so she wouldn't have been able to dance or do gym or anything afterwards. But the surgery she had, which was only available in America, was a special one that was able to allow her spine to still move. So yeah, so I've had the spinal fusion, so I can't bend my back at all. So I have to be careful not to jar my back with anything like trampolining or horse jumping or skydiving. I'm not allowed to do. Not that I don't think I would actually want to, but when I had the surgery done, the doctors were concerned that it might affect me having children. Might not be able to give birth very easily naturally, but actually I've had 2 perfectly happy, healthy children. My daughter was actually £8.12, and then my son was £10, no, £9, 10 ounces. No, he wasn't even that. He was £10.3. I don't know where that came from. So yeah, they were both big babies. That was my point. Had them both naturally. I wasn't able to have an epidural because of my spinal surgery, but apart from that, it wasn't really anything that that caused any kind of problems. Yeah, so I guess because I've had so many other illness problems throughout my life, the scoliosis was like just another part of my story, I guess, to me. I know that for a lot of people who have scoliosis, it's like the major thing in their life, and that's, you know, that's part of their story. For me, it's something that, to be really honest, I don't always think about it every day, because my fibromyalgia kind of takes over, and I'm always thinking about that. So yeah, the scoliosis is kind of there in the background, and yeah, it's just part of who I am, I guess, really. Sorry, I just turned around because someone's just come on the bridge next to me. So yeah, so Scoliosis Awareness Day is tomorrow, and I guess part of the reason I wanted to share my story was partly to help people know how to be aware of it. You know, if you see somebody that's walking lopsided or has got a twisted back or anything like that, you'll be able to know what that is now, what it likely is. If I bend over, my back is still a bit twisted, you can see, but other than that, people don't really tend to know that I've got it unless I say something. Part of the other reason I guess I'm sharing my story today is that actually just to let people know that you can still have a normal life. It doesn't need to, you know, getting a diagnosis of scoliosis is not the end of your life by any means. You know, it's just one like obstacle, hurdle that you have to deal with in life. But you know, everybody has stuff that they have to deal with and get over and live with, and you know, it's a challenge, but it's certainly not the end of the world. So if you have just been diagnosed with scoliosis, or if you have it, you know, I just wanted to reassure you really that, you know, life can still be great. You can still do loads of the things that you want to do. Maybe not every single thing, but actually so much. So yeah, so there's my story anyway, and I'm going to leave it there for today. But if you're liking these videos, or if it's helping you, please do like and subscribe, and let me know if there's anything else that you want me to talk about and cover. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.